Here, that's it? Couple, what's that? Oh, you're good? Okay, before I get into this, we've had, into the injuries, we've had a good week of practice. I've been impressed with the kids, the work by everybody, excited for the game. It was good strategic work, a lot of technical work, spent a great deal of time yesterday on rugby tackling. And then we'll move on from there. The injuries, I think Antonio Reed's good to go. Aaron Williams had a little setback during the week, but he will travel, he will dress. We're hopeful 48 hours he'll be able to play, but maybe not on a full-time basis. Jalen Bradley has been practicing. Luke Gifford is out. Ben Steely has been practicing. We anticipate him playing. Chris Webber has been held back with stinger for the week, but he has been working. He practiced today without contact. And Eric Lee is still out. So that's the injury deal. Questions?
You brought it up.
What did I bring up?
What was your reaction to Coach Diaco's comments? And obviously, Coach.
You know, here's the deal. I think that it's fairly simple. What we have in football in general is we're always probably, the best way to describe it is looking for the best and safest way to tackle. So we have, you know, I remember the day when I had to tackle, and I remember the day that I coached tackling, you know, as a defensive coach. And I remember as it is, you know, it kind of has changed from making sure your head was in there to making sure your head is out of there. So it's been an interesting evolution. And so last year, it really started with, you know, watching a video about Pete Carroll, probably more than last year, maybe a couple years ago. And the tackling, and then we basically hired a group that I thought was diligent. They made a presentation to us, and then we went forward with it and coached, and I thought that the basic idea about it was good, and then hiring a new defensive coach that for the most part the same tenets hold true, safe and better, just a little different form. And that's the way you're going to have with coaches probably everywhere. So it's really just, I think, a different idea about the best way to tackle that still maintains the safety for the player. And I have been, frankly, really impressed with the amount of teaching of tackling that our coaches have done since spring practice. So that, the other part of it, you can go back and forth probably 50-50 across the country with the argument that you just heard. So that's my take.
You never felt forced by administration?
No, that did not happen. No, it didn't happen like that. We all looked into it, and with their support, we brought this company in.
The 20-some minutes that Coach Diaco talked on Tuesday as helpful to the team, helpful to you, helpful in general? Like what do you feel like
you know me
to communicate? You're the head coach, so what do you think he was trying to communicate? And what did he communicate to you about what he was trying to communicate?
Well, you know, the thing I heard the most about was the tackling part of it, you know, and so you know, like I explained to him, I think that it would be, I said I can kind of explain the history of all that very easily like I just did. So I'm not worried about the rest of it. Sam, you'll have to give me some specifics because I really don't know the particulars. And I do know this, that you know, I think what we always try to do is be open with who we are, what we're trying to do, and you know that we're never in a position to, you know, it's like, you know, we're not going to talk about anything that is not uplifting to this program and the players in the program. So that's basically what I think about it all.
Probably going to be cold and
yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, you feel like you've got some good preparation this week for that?
You know, we've been watching the forecast, Brian, and it's gone from early on to snow to rain, back to snow, and then I think it's not going to do anything till the evening. So, and I really don't. You know, the offensive team has practiced outdoors for 2 days this week, probably at about the same. Well, yesterday was so warm, but you know, we had good session with offense and defense outside today. We've been, and it's probably about like this in the 30s. Whatever, I think we'll be fine, and both teams will be affected in the game if there's a significant wind. If there's not a wind that's more than 10 miles an hour, then everything it'll be a good weather for football. I played in that climate a lot, and it's always about the wind.
So cold doesn't generally affect like a quarterback as much as just that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No. But that's why we did go out and throw and catch cold footballs all during the week.
Danny talked a little bit on Monday about the way that Michigan's gap running stuff worked against them. You haven't pulled guards a lot recently, but have you still been running the gap that you talked about without the puller, or have you gone more zone the last few years?
You know, we've been. I would say if you ranked our top 2 running schemes, it would be zone first and gap second. So, you know, we have always, almost every game, some of both involved. And hopefully we just get some running game going, whichever evolves in the game as the best way to do it. We got to get some runs going.
You talked about Aaron Williams maybe not being full-time replaying, but Markel, this music guy, you've used a lot more physically and stuff. How have you felt he's come along?
I'm really proud of Markel. You know, I think that from where he was a year ago redshirting to where he is today, having played significant playing time, been involved in special teams, very engaged as a team member this year in a much higher level. It's a great example of what happens in growth in an individual in a program. I'm really proud of him.
When you have a young guy going back home like JD is, do you say, and you pull him aside and say anything to him, or do you just sort of let him handle those emotions, or how do you handle that?
You know, I haven't said anything to him really about it. I haven't felt the need to give him a lot of advice about how to handle. I don't even know if he knows where he is yet. I'm just going to leave him alone and let him keep playing. Not really. I think there may be an added picture to this, you know, playing back in Minneapolis or in Minnesota. But I have been so impressed with that young man, just the fact that he is pretty mature and just goes out and competes and makes plays.
Going to go to him more?
Well, you know, I can remember the right after a year with Coach Robinson, and we had just had a pretty good year, and Keyshawn had caught 102 passes, and Coach Robinson said to me, I wonder what would happen if we would have thrown him like the ball 25 more times. And I said, I'm not sure, but I've always thought of that, you know, that it's good to feed those guys that are playmakers for sure. And it's kind of interesting. I think I'm right. You guys probably know better than me. I think we've got 3 guys that have about 40 catches. Is that right? And that's not an overly significant number, but it's pretty good balance. If our tight end and back were in that picture too, then that in the passing game, that would be a good picture. And if we could balance now that out with running the football, it'd be a pretty good looking offense. And that's the ultimate picture, right? All right, guys. Good to see you. Thank you.